What's up guys, Demon Asylum here, bringing you all a new video. So now that it is officially the new year, I feel like it's that time again where we sort of begin the road to E3, which of course is the biggest gaming conference of the year and where we get to find out more about upcoming games, some of which have already been announced and some which have not. Now I know we're still 6 months away from the big event, but with the new year always comes the start of a lot of speculation towards what games we may see get announced either before or at E3, as well as may see get released this year after E3. With that being said, I have a couple of games in mind that I'm going to do videos for where I speculate whether or not we'll see them get announced this year, as well as maybe even released this year too. The first in line for me to be covering, as you can already tell from the title though, is Fallout 5, or just a new Fallout game in general, so let's get started. Now when it comes to wondering about if and when another game in the series will release, I feel like some of the biggest things to consider are when the last game in the series released, and how it did in terms of sales. Now we know that Fallout 4 released on November 10th of 2015, and we also know that it was Bethesda's most successful game to date in terms of sales, even surpassing Skyrim. Knowing these two things, which are some of the most important when it comes to the idea of another game in the series, I think it's very obvious to all of us that Bethesda would be pretty crazy not to have another Fallout game created. Whether that game will release this year is another story. Now, the next Fallout game in line, if it were to release this year, could do so in November or December, making it 3 years since Fallout 4's release. Fallout 4 also only had DLC releasing for the game up until August of 2016. Past that, there hasn't been a lot brought to the game, or at least that I can imagine would require anywhere near as many people or as much work as actual DLC would. My point with all of this is that if the same team from Fallout 4 was working on Fallout 5, they realistically could have started that process and really gotten going with it following not too long after the release of Fallout 4. At the very least, they could have done so by the time the final Fallout 4 DLC, Nuka World, was completed and released in August of 2016. Now that is just if the same exact team of people from Fallout 4 were also creating Fallout 5. If it was a different developer such as Obsidian was for New Vegas, and what many people seem to want to happen again, the next Fallout game could have been in development since Fallout 4 released or even a bit before that. Even if it was still Bethesda, but a different team or even a mix of the people from Fallout 4 along with some others, it's still plenty possible that the next Fallout game could have been in development since Fallout 4 released or soon after. Now, from all of this, there are probably some of you who are thinking it's a pretty good chance that a new Fallout game will release this year. Personally, though, I don't think there will be. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love to have a new Fallout game release this year, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Because of how big Fallout has gotten, especially following the release of Fallout 4, I don't find it very likely that Bethesda will be passing the torch of creating the next Fallout game to any other developer as they did for New Vegas. If they did, it would mean what I imagine to be a pretty substantial difference in how much money, publicity, and praise they would get compared to if they created the game themselves. If this turns out to be the case, either the team that created Fallout 4, a different team that works under Bethesda, or a mix of the two would have to be creating the next Fallout game. That would mean they would have probably started development later compared to if it was a separate developer such as Obsidian creating the game. That of course would in turn also mean less time that the new Fallout game has been in development. Right along with that, I think another thing worth noting is that due to how much flack Bethesda got from Fallout 4's issues and what it lacked, they may, or at least I hope, they will be taking their time a bit more before putting out this next game in the series. Now even if the next game in the Fallout series doesn't release this year, that doesn't mean we couldn't still see it get announced or see a different announcement entirely, such as about a Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas remaster, followed by a release for such this year. That's a topic to ponder and get more in depth about in another video though. So that's going to be it for this one guys. Be sure to let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this, and also if you feel there are other possible contributing factors towards whether or not we will see a new Fallout game this year that I didn't mention. As always though, if you've enjoyed the video or found it informative, feel free to drop a like on it down below and subscribe for many more videos to come. Thanks for watching everyone, and have a great day.